The 2023 projections for some notable Blue Jays players have come out on Fangraphs. So we're going to be reacting to that and we're going to be telling you if it's going over or under on this video. And finally, Kevin Kiermaier has spoken out, and a couple of other Blue Jays players as well, about the new dimensions at Rogers Center. So you won't want to miss this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Got some interesting stuff to get into today. Fangraphs projections, always fun seeing if it'll go over or under, and then reacting to it at season's end. But we're going to be doing it at the beginning of the year. But before we do that, we want to thank you all for your support. It's been unreal, and we could not be more thankful for all of you.
Yeah, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Your support's been great in the live streams and the videos, and we're close to 7K, so make sure to hit that button. But without further ado, let's get into the first topic of the video, which is predicting 2023 overs and unders. So like you said, the Fangraphs released their projections, and we'll get right into the first one. We're going to be betting over on for hitters, for home runs, and WAR, and then for pitchers, we'll just do ERA. So let's get into the first one, Peter, and I'll get your thoughts on this. So it is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., projected to have 38 home runs and a 5.2 WAR. Are you going over or under on the home runs and WAR? You can do them separately, or you can just say, both over depending on, or under depending on what your projection is. But 38 home runs, 5.2 FWAR.
I think Vladdy hits 41 home runs, so I'm going to go over. And I'm going to go 5.5 WAR. I think that's honestly a very fair assessment by Fangraphs there. I like it. I think they're right on the money there. They're in the same ballpark that I'm in, and I think he has a huge bounce back year.
Yeah, when looking at the his stats last year, 32 home runs with a 2.8 WAR. This is FWAR as well, which is a bit different than the normal baseball reference WAR. It takes into some other things into account. So that's why it might be lower or higher for some players. I'm with you. I think it's over on the home runs. I think it's somewhere in the low 40s, and I think the WAR, I think he pulls off like a 5.3, 5.4 WAR, but this was honestly probably one of the tougher ones, but we'll say over on both, and we will do a reaction video at the end of the next season, coming back to these to see how we do, and we will be having a live stream going through every player. We just couldn't include all of them in this video. But yeah, over on both. We're in agreement there. Let's get into the next player, which is Alejandro Kirk, who has a 18 home runs projected with a 4.3 WAR. What's your predictions for this one?
Under home runs and under WAR. I just don't think he's going to play as much as they're projecting him to. Danny Jansen's going to get a lot of time if he can stay healthy. And you also add in Dalton Varsho there. They're not going to DH Kirk as much as they did last season. So I'm predicting under for both, but not by too much.
Yeah, I'm going to go with under on the home runs as well, and I'm going to also go with under on the WAR, but I think he's going to have like as close to a 4 WAR. I think that's what his WAR is going to be. It might even go over, but I'm pretty confident about the unders and the home runs. I just don't think, obviously the Rogers Center, renovations and stuff may help towards that, but I think he probably hovers around 12 to 15 home runs, especially with him playing less.
Yeah. Just 122 games. I don't think he's going to play that much. That's basically saying Danny Jansen's going to play around 50-ish games, and that's, unless he gets hurt, that's unrealistic. So yeah, under.
Agreed. Let's get into the next one now, which is Bo Bichette. This one's an interesting one. 26 home runs with a 4.2 WAR. Peter, what are your thoughts on this? I'm very curious to hear on both. And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Over home runs, so I think he hits around 28 to 30. I think he really has a breakout power season and doesn't start as slow as he did last year. And I'm going to go over on WAR as well. I'm banking on a little bit of better production on the defensive side of the ball for Bo Bichette. And he needs it, to reestablish his value and to really show that he's one of the elite shortstops in the league. Even though he is already, he's got to show that he's in the upper echelon in the top 5. So I'm going over for both, but not by too much. Maybe 4.5 WAR and maybe 28 to 30 home runs.
We're in agreement once again. I'm also going over on both. I expect a slight to moderate improvement in defense, and his offense will obviously continue to grow as he becomes a better player. We'll go into the next one now. So over on both for Bo Bichette. This is Dalton Varsho, our new acquisition, projected to have 26 home runs and a 3.4 WAR. Give me your opinion.
Over on WAR, absolutely. I mean, he had a 4.9 last season if you're not adjusting it to Fangraphs. So definitely over on WAR. And I think him playing in left field will help the WAR as well, because the position is a lot weaker and he doesn't have to contend with those great center fielders. So I think over on WAR, close to a 5, maybe even above a 5 with that elite defense. And 26 home runs, I think that's fair. I think that's right on the money. I think he hits 26 home runs. Honestly, that's a great projection.
Yeah, I agree in the war. I think it goes over by a significant margin. I could see upwards of 5, maybe a breakout year, even a 6. And I think, yeah, I think he might hit 30 home runs. So I'm gonna go with over on the home runs. So over on the home runs, over on war. We kind of agree. You're kind of right at 26, which is honestly fair as well. Let's get into the next player now, which is Matt Chapman. 29 home runs, 3.7 war. I feel strongly about this one, but I'm gonna let you give your projections first here.
I think I don't know how they predict these home run totals, but I think they're right on the money once again. I think there's a chance he hits 30 if he stays healthy and he doesn't start slow like he did last year. But I'll go with the push on the home runs once again. But WAR, in our hot takes video, I said Matt Chapman would have a 6 wins above replacement because the shift is gone and his defense is really going to shine this year. So over on WAR, absolutely, but right on the money with the home runs. So I
Yeah,
think he's close to a 6. I think he's close to a
I'm
6.
gonna go with. I was gonna go with under on the home runs by like 1 or 2, so I'll just stick with that just to change it up a little bit. He could easily mash 35, but I think the WAR is gonna be 4.5 to 5, maybe even higher. The home run points are right on the money as well. I think he could easily go over, but I'm gonna go under on home runs and definitely over on WAR. If there's one I feel strongly about, it is the over on WAR. Besides this one right here, which I feel even more strongly about, which is Alek Manoah, projected to have a 4.03 ERA with a 2.6 WAR. I'm not even gonna let you speak really quick. I'm just gonna hammer both or under, I guess, ERA and over on WAR by a significant amount. Fangraphs does not. They value the peripherals a lot, and obviously Manoah doesn't have the best peripherals regarding the external advanced metric stuff. So that's why they have that. But I suspect he will be well below a 4 ERA, maybe 3, with a
Yeah.
4 to 5 WAR is my projection.
I expect a little bit of regression from Alek Manoah. It's not realistic to have another 2.2 ERA. It just doesn't happen very often. And we've been pumping the tires of Fangraphs the entire video, but I think this is where this stops because Fangraphs does not take into account that Alek Manoah is one of the best competitors in the major leagues. He goes out there every 5 days and gives your ball club a chance to win a game. And not many pitchers go out there and do that. I mean, he had one start where he was under 6 innings and he was 5 innings in that start. So he'll give you a quality start. You know what you're getting out of him. Maybe he won't strike out 20 guys in a game. That's not his pitching style. But the guy is a competitor. He is a winner, and that's all he's done ever since he got to the majors. He's won, and I expect him to smash both of those totals and laugh in front of the metrics' faces.
I completely agree. I guess there's no argument there. I think he hammers the under and then the over on the WAR. But yeah, let's get into the next topic now, and let us know what your thoughts are on all those projections, and leave your projections in the comments below, and we'll discuss with you guys. But let's get into the next topic now. So yeah, we have the Jays players react to Rogers Center upgrades, and obviously in yesterday's video we discussed the major renovations. They revealed the dimensions, they showed a little graphic of all that, and now we had Jordan Romano and Kevin Kiermaier specifically react to those and give a little bit of their takes in the interview. So I'll pop out this screenshot now. And this is kind of the one we're going to focus on for a minute here, which is Kevin Kiermaier, because obviously he is going to have a first-hand experience with the center field changes. And he basically said that on the changes, quote, "For us, the new dimensions, moving the walls in, it's going to let all these the Jays hit that many more home runs. Obviously, all their power hitters." So what are your thoughts on that? And just in general, the thoughts on I guess we spoke about it yesterday, but how much you think Kevin Kiermaier
Yeah.
could affect the defense and playing in between these really strange dimensions.
Yeah, well, I said in yesterday's video that that center field wall has been handcrafted for Kevin Kiermaier highlight plays, and I can't wait to see him patrol center field and be the platinum glove level defender that he is out there, and he's gonna have some highlight reel catches, Kevin Pillar-esque, better than Kevin Pillar, if I may add. No disrespect to him, of course, but Kevin Kiermaier is gonna have a really good year. I think he won't have to do too much at the plate, but he's gonna offer so much insurance to those pitchers, and as soon as it hits center field, you can just walk back to the dugout if there's 2 outs. He's that type of player. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and I don't know how much it'll affect the home run totals because the walls are a lot taller now. So maybe that takes away a little bit. If you're hitting a line drive, then maybe it doesn't have the same chance to get out as it did before. But maybe a lazy fly ball gets out and before it didn't. So it'll be interesting to see. I can't wait to see it firsthand at the Rogers Center. I don't know about you, Nick.
Yeah, it's super exciting. All the changes are great, and quickly pop up Jordan Romano's thoughts. He says, as a pitcher with a dimension scooted in a little bit, I'm glad to have those guys playing behind me. And like you just said, anything hit to the outfield will be automatically, caught, or you'd like to think. And again, we mentioned this in several videos, but it's about the change of the defensive culture in the outfield. And maybe they probably knew the front office, and that's why maybe some of these moves were head scratchers at the time, but now they make tons of sense. So let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on that again, and I guess on how much impact you think Kevin Kiermaier will have. And we'll move on to very quickly the final topic, which kind of relates to our projections for the over-unders, which is the Jays World Series odds were revealed, and they sit at, plus 1,300, tied with the Mariners. I know we did this in a video, I think a few weeks back, but some of the odds I believe have changed, but we wanted to cover it again. Peter, what are your thoughts on this or any of the other teams quickly before we wrap up here?
It's fair, and I'm glad that they're not being overrated. And I'll say it again. I want them to earn it. I want them to show that they're one of the top teams in the majors. I think they have whatever it takes to be there when it's all said and done. And I think they're better suited for a playoff run with this kind of team than they were last year. So I'm excited about all the new additions. I think they're going to mesh well together. The clubhouse seems to be getting along, and in the winter meetings and the winter tour that the Toronto Blue Jays are doing. So I think they're going to come together well. We don't know what the team will look like past the deadline. We don't know what they'll look like come October, but I think this is the team that is very well tailored for a playoff run, and I'm glad they're eighth, and maybe they could be fifth, maybe they could be ahead of some of those other teams, but it's okay with me. I want them to earn it.
I
They were
agree.
second last year, just as a measuring stick. They were second before 2022, so it just puts it into perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the odds are fine. Again, they don't mean too much unless you're betting, and you get some pretty good odds if you're into that. But that'll wrap up the video. We're excited because spring training is coming up super soon, less than 3 weeks away. So we're going to be covering all that. And I'm just excited to see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. And we're going to come back and see how right or, probably wrong our predictions are at the end of the year. But yeah, that'll wrap it up. We'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. See you then.
Thanks.